It's not enough that we've been hanging in midair for weeks on this Diana Taylor murder case. Now you hold a suspect overnight without sufficient proof for indictment?
I have proof.
You've got egg on your face, Bert. That's what you've got. There is still no murder weapon. Not according to the ballistics report I read.
Well, all right, I thought we had the murder weapon. I would have bet money on it.
You would have lost that bet.
All right, Mr. Richardson, you've made your point.
Heather Weber's lawyer is going to be all over you like a dragon when she finds out that you salted away her client without any valid proof.
Well, now, wait a minute. I have not held Heather over 24 hours. That much I get free.
You're only digging a hole for yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll dig it a lot deeper if it'll help me nail Heather.
All right, Captain Ramsey. As the district attorney, I will be waiting for something that we can pin an indictment on.
Hey, will you do me a favor? Will you do me a favor? When you're telling the boys about the egg on my face, will you also add that I said Heather Weber had the opportunity and the motive to commit this murder? And I'm going to prove that she did it.
Another morning in paradise. Morning, Moondoggy. Morning, Gidge. Come on, surf's up. Let's catch the first waves of the day. I don't understand this, you know?
I think you've gone out of what's left of your mind.
No, Robert, the only thing I need is to get down below and tear up that place. That's all I need.
We tried direct assault. We're all going to finish up a lot the worse the way we are now.
I'm really beginning to wonder if we have a chance at all.
Well, now, come on, Gidge. You know we've got a chance. Hang in there, baby.
I am. I'm trying.
That's my girl.
Speaking of which, I'm a little concerned about Tiffany.
Well, you mean that she'll come through for us?
She's still our only hope of breaking into Submarine City down there.
Well, then where is she?
She did promise to meet us here this morning with some breakfast.
Yeah, well, you know, Robert, her track record of dependability continues to wane. It's already morning.
Right. No Tiffany.
Well, what do we have here? Tiffy, sneaking food. I thought Corinne was the only one who liked to stuff her face.
There's a considerable difference between Corinne and myself.
So I noticed, especially around the hips. But then again, you have been ill, and I know you have to eat to keep up your strength here.
Don't worry, Alex. Whatever I take, make sure I'll give you what's left.
How sweet. But I do understand that people who have a tendency to overeat aren't getting enough of, shall we say, what they need.
I must tell Victor that. He'll find it quite amusing.
Yes, I'm sure you have to do everything you can think of to keep Victor amused.
Well, I give it my best, dear. But then I guess Tony's already told you that, hasn't he?
Oh, you try so hard, Tiffy.
Yes.
Now, do you know where Mikko's is?
Why don't you try the control room?
Because we both know that's off limits, darling.
I trust you've noticed a considerable change in the Port Charles atmospheric conditions, Mr. Valentine?
Are you trying to tell me that you're claiming credit for the weather changes at Port Charles?
Precisely.
Well, the answer is no. You're not going to blackmail us. The House of Cassadine is not going to dominate the civilized world.
A most regrettable attitude, Mr. Valentine. I'd advise you to reconsider.
There will be no compromise.
Very well. You leave me with no choice but to show you convincing proof of what I can do.
What are you doing? We haven't finished the negotiations.
There will be no further negotiations except on my terms. I offer them the opportunity to capitulate, and they have refused.
What are you planning?
A suitable demonstration of power.
We cannot destroy Port Charles.
Port Charles is an insignificant little hamlet. It is quite expendable.
It should be apparent that your strategy didn't work.
But it will work.
Valentine's not going to give in. We must stop this before it goes any further.
I have work to do. We'll discuss this another time.
Did you hear me, Mikos? We cannot destroy Port Charles.
A few thousand people sacrificed to save millions, a way of salvation for the world. And you would say no?
Your attitude is entirely unacceptable.
To whom is it unacceptable, Max? To you?
We made a deal. I was to share in all decisions.
And so you have, to this point.
No, Mikos. You've taken complete charge. Now I must call my people and tell them we're pulling out of this deal.
Calm yourself, Max. And remember that our one goal, our great humanitarian endeavor, will be achieved at any cost.
You have no authority to proceed without the approval of the others.
Authority, my dear colleague, belongs to him who exercises it.
What was that all about?
It appears the boys have been having a small argument.
Small? I'm afraid there's nothing small about it when you have a disagreement with Mikos.
Oh, well, frankly, I think he's a pussycat.
Tiffany, I would be very careful if I were you. Your charms may not work on all the Cassadine men.
Well, they worked rather well on 2 out of 3. What's your batting average, dear?
You are such a fool. Let me give you a little piece of advice. I would not get caught between a fallout between Max and Mikos. Because Mikos is not the kind of man who's going to share his power with anyone.
Very perceptive, Alexandria.
Oh, Mikos, dear man. You never cease to be a surprise.
Because we didn't know you were there.
Obviously. You should know better than to speculate about the future or even to discuss it. Don't ever forget that I am in control, in complete control.
We were just having a little friendly conversation.
Oh, relax, Alex. He was just reminding us that we're guests. We shouldn't become too curious, should we?
A wise philosophy. Perhaps you can share it with Alexandria.
Why not? We've shared so many other things.
Then we understand each other.
And we understand each other perfectly.
Oh, Mikos, just one little favor, dear.
Oh, now what is it?
Well, you said that we had to have your permission to go upstairs, right?
You were up there yesterday.
Oh, I know, but a tan fades so quickly, and I have to keep working on it.
Leaving our quarters disrupts security.
Oh, I know, but I thought I could go up and get a little sun and have a little picnic. Well, it does give me something to do. Oh, please, Mikos, I won't be a bother to anybody.
Oh, go.
You know, Alexandria, you really should try to work on your personality. Men are such wonderfully boyish manners when you know how to bring them out.
You know, Stork, this stuff is a lot harder to cut than I thought it was going to be.
Well, of course it is, you idiot. I mean, it's going to make a good, strong raft. Well, we're using it.
I know that. Where's Laura?
Off gathering nuts in May.
I gather you two want breakfast. Breakfast is fine, but I'm telling you, I'm sick of nuts. I wish you'd stop gathering those damn nuts. What about Tiffany? When is she going to bring up the food supplies?
I got a feeling something's gone wrong down there. I
What do you
really
mean?
do.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know. Whatever. Maybe when we get this raft finished, we'll be ready. And provided Tiffany is still on our side, we'll be okay. You know, I've been in too many tight situations in my life.
Yeah.
Where nothing's ever worked out right.
Why?
To have any faith in this one. That's why I'm so selfish.
You know, Robert, I have a suggestion for you.
Tell me.
It's called go with the flow. You know, okay? You just go with the flow, all right? Go with the flow.
I think we've done that routine to death already.
Yeah? Doesn't work anymore, huh?
I don't think so.
Don't worry, old boy. It's gonna work. We'll get Tiffany's help. We'll get down below. We'll trash all Cassadine's plans to mess up the weather in Port Charles, and then we'll just split. What about the explosives?
Well, as I see it, we just go kaboom.
Kaboom?
Kaboom.
Kaboom, kaboom. All
Right.
right. So we're gonna kaboom the madman's attempt to take over the world. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I sort of like what style you've got there, mate. But I do believe you've missed out on one little detail.
What is that, Robert?
Where do we build the bar, on the A or the B deck?
Wherever's closest, pal.
Right.
Wherever's closest.
There you are, Jesse. I'm through with this.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Steve, do you have any pull with the weatherman?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, goodness, you two are soaked to the skin. Cold.
Yes, well, it's a downpour out there, and yes, it's a very cold one.
Cold one.
What in the world is going on anyway? I've never seen the weather change like this in late summer. It's 42 degrees.
It's crazy. Obviously, it's all a figment of our imagination, and this is not going on.
That's what everybody's saying, but it certainly isn't a summer shower.
Tell us, Rick, did you two have any luck or finding out about Laura when you went to Beecher's Corner?
Well, unfortunately, nothing new.
Oh, it's a shame you wasted your time then.
Audrey, I didn't waste my time. It was a very profitable time, well spent.
Mrs. Whitaker, the lady that we went to see, gave us kind of a, you could call it a little clue about Laura.
Well, basically, it confirms our thoughts that all along we've felt that Laura got on that boat with Scorpion Hill and Cassadine.
Oh. I hear somebody mention Cassadine.
Well, we were talking about Laura and the possibilities of where she might be.
Well, now, how would Mrs. Whitaker think that Laura might be on the Cassadine yacht?
She didn't. It was a sort of, just a kind of theory, sort of a intuitive thing.
Would you mind elaborating on that?
Yeah, okay. Mrs. Whitaker showed us a picture of Laura that was taken last summer. And Laura was working as a waitress, and she was wearing a black wig. So we suddenly thought, gee, that could have had something to do with it.
With what?
Oh, that could have been how she got on the boat, that she was wearing the black wig so nobody would recognize her, and she went on with the kitchen staff or the maids or something to help.
It's not fact, but it is a theory.
A little far-fetched, isn't it?
Anybody got a bet on one?
Well, I might have. Of course, it's only an idea. With all this talk about the Cassadines, I began to think about when I used to work for Lamont Corbin. We used to have occasional dealings with the Cassadine family. As a result, I got to know how the House of Cassadine operates.
Now, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about Laura being on a yacht.
Well, we are. If Laura is on that yacht, there's a good possibility she's on her way to the Greek islands.
The what?
The Greek islands.
Yes, the House of Cassadine owns one of them.
Wonderful, a Greek island. I can't stand it.
Here, take a look at this. I found it in an old photograph album. I took it when I was working for Lamont. It's a photo of the big man himself, Mikko Cassadine.
Mikko Cassadine. Who never heard of him. This is getting to be like unraveling spaghetti.
Yeah, who is this Mikko Cassadine?
Oh, he's the big gun in the family. And he's famous for being a recluse. As a matter of fact, he doesn't like to have his picture taken. I might just have a collector's item there.
The more people I talk to about Laura, the more confused I get.
Part of a giant puzzle.
Well, I just hope Laura's not mixed up with Mikko Cassadine. He makes Frank Smith look like an angel.
He's gone too far. I must stop him.
Well, what can we do? He's practically holding us captive.
I'll have to work behind his back. Convince Victor and Tony that their brother has lost all sense of reality.
No, it's too much of a risk.
Darling, we are in the business of risks.
But they're family. We're outsiders. Well, what if Victor and Tony tell Mikos that you're trying to undermine him?
Above all, Victor and Tony are committed to Victor and Tony.
They are loyal to themselves first. They will listen to me when I convince them that it is their own safety, their own drive for power that it involves.
Well, perhaps we should wait, Max. Mikos could be testing us.
Darling, that is a ridiculous suggestion. I'm surprised at you.
Well, I'm only trying to salvage all the work we've done. The plans we made for ourselves.
No.
Mikos is clearly committed to go all the way, and he will not turn back.
That's it? There's nothing else we can do?
Darling, our personal goals are finished. Valentine has said no to our demands for the second time. Mikos must now prove his threats or back down, and he won't back down. He will very simply destroy Port Charles.
Because he cannot see that his crusade to attain utopia can also destroy the world. And all of us with it.
At the very least, I thought you would provide an escort for me.
Hey, baby, you've arrived. We're beginning to worry about you.
Only beginning. Well, I must have lost my touch.
All right, gorgeous. Pull up the pom-pom here and sit down.
Well,
What you got there?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How gallant of you.
Thank you.
Wouldn't have anything to do with the food I have in this bag, would it?
Oh, who's hungry? Not me, I tell you.
Oh, good. Well, I'll take it back then.
It smells, kind of nice, though.
Oh. I think maybe Pluto just discovered Fat City here, huh?
That's true, perhaps.
Well, in that case,
Get it.
Lay it out.
lay it out.
Do that.
All right. Oh, croissants.
Oh.
And bacon! I have waited for bacon most of my life. Tiffany, I love you.
Oh, thank you. I do what I can, my dear. I have news.
Yeah?
Oh?
Yes, there seems to be a falling out between Mikos and Max.
Over what?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think that Max is a little bit too ambitious.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Von Stade would be the first person to try to challenge Mikos. I understand that.
It's great. It's perfect, man. Let them kill each other.
Yeah, well, if this is what he wants to do, he's made a big error in judgment. Mikos isn't the kind of guy that's going to take second place to anybody. What else have you got for it, love?
Well, they don't exactly take me to their confidence, darling.
Look, I'm a little concerned about the radar ban. However, this makes up for it a lot. But I'm going to tell you, I'm concerned about the thing, you know. How are we going to know how to turn it off? That's our first hit point.
We've got to find some way to deactivate it. Have you seen them turn this thing on and off?
Well, I did see a guard one time turning a switch just before I got on the elevator.
Good.
Yeah, that means that the control is not in the elevator itself.
Means we won't have to deal with the whole body, just one guy.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Well, darling, we're going to enlist your help one more time. You see, we have this one position left on the team. Interference, it's called. You want to play with us or not?
We need you. We need you to play with us. You're beautiful.
Thank you. But I really don't have a choice. If we don't stop Mikos, none of us will ever get off of this island. And besides, I don't want to miss the Cannes Film Festival.
Good. Then we all have our priorities in order.
Where's Laura? Why is Laura never around when we're serving dinner here? Excuse me. May I find my lady?
Go.
Laura! What money?
Tony never mentioned having a brother named Mikos.
There's a lot he didn't mention.
I'll confess, I was stunned to hear the truth about him.
Tony seems so charming, too. He was a rat.
Steve?
Yeah?
Could I have some time off?
Be a good idea. You could use a couple days rest. You really could.
I'm going to go to Greece and find Tony.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I'm very serious, Steve. I'm very serious. I've got to know that Laura's all right.
Greece, that's so adventurous.
Oh, yes, that sounds very adventurous. I'm not letting you do that. You know how dangerous that could be, traipsing halfway across the world? You don't even know where to start looking for Tony Cassadine. And if you do find him, how is he going to react to seeing you?
I am not going to argue with you about this.
All right, no argument. Fine. You want to go? You're that set on going? Fine. I go with you.
Hey, does anybody mind if the boss puts in his 2 cents worth?
Steve, this isn't your problem.
It is, if it involves the hospital staff.
No, I'm really sorry about that. I don't mean to just go willy-nilly upsetting schedules, but I really feel that I have to talk to Tony. Now, we were friends. We were. At least I thought we were, and he would not turn his back on me. I don't believe that he would. And I've got to ask him to see to it that she doesn't get hurt.
I think we both have to find that out, Steve. Sorry.
Well, I suppose I could juggle the schedule for Lesley, but Rick, you have a heavy wire schedule the rest of the week.
Well, Lesley could go on ahead of me, and I could join her later, as long as you promise not to get into anything that could be dangerous.
I'll see what I can do.
Dr. Hardy, telephone call. Dr. Steve Hardy. Dr. Hardy, telephone call. Dr. Steve Hardy.
Probably another staff member wanting to go on an African safari.
Steve, you just be firm.
Have you forgotten what they call me? Soft touch Hardy. Dr. Hardy.
Steve, Bert Ramsey here. I wanted to tell you our plan for transferring Hutch back to prison.
I hope you've thought of a safe way to do it.
Well, I think so. We're going to move him secretly by ambulance one night this week.
Sounds good. What night?
Steve, I'm afraid I can't give you that information. I'm sure you'll understand. We want to keep that plan as secret as we can until the last minute. I just wanted to give you as much warning as possible. Thank you, Steve. Bye. Come in. Thank you, matron. Sit down, Heather.
I'll stand, thank you. How dare you hold me overnight?
We have strong evidence against you, Heather, and you know it.
Oh, really? I've talked to my lawyer, and she disagrees. I'm being released from here this morning, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can hold me on, because that gun you found, it wasn't the murder weapon.
Let's talk about some basic realities, Heather. I can prove that you stole Shelley Vernon's car to get out of the sanitarium the night Diana Taylor was murdered, and I will just bet that you planted that phony gun. Your luck is running out, young lady, because I'm going to find the real murder weapon. Sure, you're getting out of here this morning, because I'm not going to waste my time over any legal technicalities with your lawyer. But you remember one thing. I can and will pick you up as soon as I have enough evidence to book and convict you on first-degree murder. Matron? Take her out of here. Please.
And then what we'll do is just lash all the sections together and we'll set off across the briny blue. Bon voyage. Aha! Eddie! What you got?
Breakfast?
Hotcakes! Oh, goody!
What is that?
Ah, a little island princess.
Yeah. Look at the food Tiff brought us.
Oh, great. Let's eat.
Yep, all right. Tourists, chow down, and we're going to have to throw it in the alley and let the city pick it up.
Oh, there.
Tiffany, what's wrong?
Trouble in the pits?
It seems that the boys down in the Weather Bureau are squabbling amongst themselves, and this could upset our plans to get below and destroy that machine.
I may not be able to even help him since Mikko is getting stranger by the minute.
Well, I mean, since when's that a UPI bulletin? I mean, he's world-renowned for being strange.
It's worse. It's a lot worse since you had that argument with Max.
I guess it isn't any easier for you down there than it is for us up here.
If I could just understand Mikko, if I could just find that weakness in him, we might have a chance of beating him.
Tiffany, we'll beat him. He's not perfect.
No, I can't explain it. Mikko has me totally baffled. You could see the look on his face this morning. It was... Oh, his eyes. Forever searching out the flaws in everybody. Every flaw.
It seems fitting that my brothers share this historic moment.
Ah, where's Max? Shouldn't he be here?
No, I think not.
Something wrong, Mikos?
Max has chosen to defy us. He's decided that our House of Cassadine is not worthy to rule the world, that we cannot fulfill our destiny to form a perfect society.
It's preposterous.
Then you're with me completely?
Well, of course, I've always been with you.
And you, Anthony?
Mikos, I'm a Cassadine. I share equally in our fate and our glory.
You say that somewhat less than enthusiastically.
There can be no doubt of my loyalty or eagerness to attain success, Mikos.
We must make an example for the world, a demonstration to prove conclusively, finally, that we are in control.
Has Valentine been told?
Yes, I offered him very generous terms to accept the inevitable, but he chooses to be obstinate.
Well, those who are obstinate are always the first to break.
A regrettable facet of the human condition, Victor. People will always reject new ideas, new concepts, even when there is great benefit to be achieved.
But if we are patient, if we show them what can be accomplished...
Patient? Is that your credo, Anthony? Patience instead of necessary force?
I'm only suggesting a diplomatic way of dealing with Valentine.
It would seem that we have dealt with him all too diplomatically. Now we must show him positive action. See, the rains have started.
Ah, and the temperature continues to drop by the hour. It is 40 degrees and falling.
The weather is ours, my brothers, ready to do our bidding.
It's magnificent beyond my wildest hope. We are invincible. Yes, invincible.
This will bring Valentine and the world to its knees. within a matter of days.
General Hospital will continue